What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. This is the Season 3, Week 4 Leonis Division video, and we've got 5 awesome best of 3s for you guys today. Let's take a look at the standings before we get into the matches and see where everybody stacks up. First of all, in first place heading into the week, we've got Zhalk of Boco Buddies with 9 points, a perfect 3-0-0 series record with a +4 total game win-loss. Highwind in second place with Tears for Spears with 7 points. Not far behind though, also with the same amount of points, just not as great of a tiebreaker, we've got Willy Goats of the Corpse Brigade and JAYBLACK of Chronic Fatigue with +2 and +1 respectively. Sandrooster in 5th place with Unicorn Gunfight, 2-1-0 record +2. No mitigated losses for him pretty much ever. And King Delita in 6th with Arc Knights, 6 points as well, even in that plus or minus game loss. AllSmokedUp in 7th with Trap Queens with 4 points. Does have that head-to-head tiebreaker over MaechenX of the Shoometal Alchemists, also with 4 points. And JohnnyB in 9th with the Disposable Heroes. Taiyo with Fire Force in last with 1 point as well. This division has been insanely competitive through 3 weeks. I expect nothing less in week 4, and let's jump into the matches. But before we do that, I just want to give a huge shout out and special thank you to the YouTube members. Thank you so much to all of these amazing people. Maraxis, Numero 80, Turumbar, Surf Taco, Ram9, Sandrooster, McCrane, Chise, Some Smarty, MaechenX, Meeful, Ice Dragon 2K, William Souza, hopefully I say that correctly, Greatestness, and Mr. Aloha, our newest member. You guys are really, really awesome. Thank you so much for the support. I truly appreciate it. And now we can check out the games. Game 1 of this series, guys, in what could be pretty massive for these standings here. We'll have to see. Willy Goats with the Corpse Brigade on the left side versus MaechenX of the Shoometal Alchemists. MaechenX bringing out his King Bradley, who is alongside Zazan and Freyevia. And it looks like a double wind evade composition coming out from Willy Goats along with Ketone. Did he call this correctly? I say that. Wind is bad versus Freyevia, good versus Bradley. So we'll have to see. But an interesting composition. Illusion coming out from 2B, so a very nice early turn rotation coming out from Willy. All those evasion buffs online and ready to go. Freyevia is a very good magic tank, but will she be able to tank up these 3 physical units? That is the question we're going to have to find out. Keenblade coming out from Zazan, so he's going to move forward. He's got about 53 AP on himself. Speaking of 53 AP, King Bradley has the same before he uses his Poise buff, which gives him some courage and physical damage up. Tifa going to walk forward with Overpowered Plus, dropping her accuracy, which could actually be pretty useful versus some of these evasion units. I say that. Freyevia has a guaranteed hit in her kit, though. 2B, what has she got in store for us with 50 AP? She's going to go Resistance Field, Slash and Strike Resistance, along with a couple of status nullifications. Could be useful. Looks like Zazan's got ranged attacks off here. Actually doesn't even go for a Steel Heart. I'm surprised by that. I feel like he could have went for that. Maybe Tifa has enough charm resist that he can't even try. I don't know exactly how that works. But a decent amount of damage coming out from the Freyevia. Tifa is really chunked here, and she's barely making any sort of headway onto Freyevia here. Ketone going to go Drain Force, though, 5,600, and that's the damage you like to see coming out from Willy Goats' side onto the tank. Helm Splitter going to come out from King Bradley, though. Tifa's going to drop. And this is an early 3v2 advantage for MaechenX and the Shoometal Alchemists. Yorha Annihilation Dance, though, haven't seen this limit break in years, literally. Not that much damage, increases the slash attack resist piercing rate, but I imagine Freyevia is probably going to heal herself. And yeah, she's actually going to find the entire party with a Knight's Blessing. That Mashri TMR is just incredibly effective. A 3-hit barrier on the entire squad now is going to be extremely hard for Willy Goats to overcome. Murderous Blade does miss, though, as it looks like this evasion still is pretty on point. What kind of accuracy does King Bradley have? Looks like Calculated Rend connects with the 2B. Gets dodged one of the times by Ketone, though. Not going to say it's over yet. If the evasion is on point and they can whittle through this Freyevia, they might still have a chance. And I will note that physical and magical barrier does nothing to protect from Drain Force, as it is neither physical or magical. It even goes through reflex. 2B with the Shockwave, 2,700 damage onto the Bradley, though. So it looks like maybe the hate is no longer there for Freyevia. She might have ran out, as Blizziga Blade is going to miss the 2B. Does not go for the guaranteed hit here. 27 AP on Zazan. What does he do? Jamming Edge does finally connect onto the 2B. And now, unfortunately for Ketone, she is down to a 1v3. And Bradley, can he hit this time? Goes with the Drain Zone. That is a knockout, and that is a Game 1's victory for the Shoometal Alchemists. Second game for these two players, and it looks like Willy Goats is going with a switch up. Probably a smart move as the last game didn't go very well for him. Running the Ketone, Oberon, Heinler, and Severo composition. And Severo is a monster for 30 cost, especially with that new 50 Spirit Penny gain from his 140. Should be very, very interesting. So, some status nullifications coming out from Ketone as Friva is going to pop her 3-hit Magic Barrier. And it looks like Bradley and Zazan doing Bradley and Zazan things in the back with what is most likely another Keen Blade. And obviously, that preemptivity buff and all that good stuff coming out from Bradley. So here comes Zazan storming down the map, trying to close the distance here. And Bradley going to pop that poise buff, giving himself some courage and physical damage. Now he is online with Severo. Does he get his 120 skill off, or is he in range to hit Fryevia from here? It is very important that he gets that 120 skill off. It helps his cast time. It gives him haste, courage, all sorts of good things. What is it? It is the haste perpetuator. So that is a very big deal for Willie here. And Fryevia is going to close the gap. Shadow Flare. This is going to actually move his position, drop his AoE resist, pull him a little closer. I don't think it's going to be close enough for Bradley to reach. He does have pretty insane range, but I don't think he has that kind of movement in him. So there he goes, and this is actually probably better for MaechenX here, as King Bradley's going to pop his own TMR, which gives himself haste and reaction block. And the Drain Glyph, very interesting. This should be Alphonse's TMR coming out from Oberon. Only lands on himself, unfortunately, but should give him some lifesteal. Here comes the Drain Force from Ketone, and I kind of wonder, was that Alphonse TMR meant to hit the entire party to try and enhance how much Ketone is Drain Forcing as well? Not entirely sure. Flare's going to come through, though, so that Magic Barrier no longer exists for Fryevia. Severo's still going to hang on tight with his courage, and this might actually be a heal from Fryevia. Yes, it is. She's pretty low. This time does not find the 3-hit barrier on the entire party, though, just on herself. Zazan, can he reach Severo? Of course he can. He is a mountain climber. He is the best in the game at doing that. Here comes Bradley, blink of an eye, so those couple of resistances along with the preemptivity buff, and Oberon, what does he have in store? He's going for Fryevia. He's jumping up into the sky to try and do as much damage as possible. Drain Force comes out from Ketone for about 4k. Can Oberon finish her off? Yes, he can. That is a kill. It is now down to a 2v2, so this is a chance for Willie to try and pull this off. Calculated rank going to hit both units. Tanked up quite well by Oberon, I will say. That's actually very, very impressive. He's going to jump into the sky. How long does it take before he lands? It takes a while, which means he's actually going to dodge any sort of damage that would have came out of King Bradley. Unfortunately, Ketone is going to drop, though. Zazan really not going to be able to do anything, I imagine. Does he have any buffs? No, he doesn't. Soaring Dragon Spear is not quite enough to proc the courage on King Bradley, though, and is that enough to make the difference? Calculated Ren still only doing about 3.5k to Oberon. He's tanking up really, really well. Murderous Blade comes out for 4,700, though, raising his defense piercing. Can he find a double kill? No, certainly not against a Reflex. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. He didn't go for the AoE, and he still had courage online. But a very valiant effort from Oberon as King Bradley is going to step in and cut his head off and win the 2-0 series for MaechenX and the Shoometal Alchemists. Jumping into this series, guys, and we've got one of my fellow Thunder Gods on the left, Taiyo of Fire Force with a double fire composition, and that is a double water composition coming out from JohnnyB on the other side of Disposable Heroes. And it looks like somebody forgot to turn auto on, but there he goes. He turns it on. No big deal. Flaming Impact immediately coming up from Rain, slowing the more, and this fight is kicking off immediately. Absolutely nuts. Domain of Fire comes out from Satya. I'm actually surprised she can't reach more there. She has a decent range. Very, very interesting to see here. So double water versus double fire. Taiyo's got his work cut out for him as the courage comes out from Miranda, but the initial slow could end up being a big deal here. Mia's going to channel a spell. I'm not entirely sure what this would be. Maybe I think she gets Light Veil from like Cleric or something like that, because there is a lot of light units on Fire Force, so maybe that is what she's going for. Here comes the Quicken coming out from Elshra, though, as Rain should be able to walk forward. What does he go for? It is actually a Limit Break, Shining Nova. This could matter because this attack drops fire attack resistance, only does 1,000 damage, but this might, oh god, the auto cure, though. If the elemental advantage wasn't enough, here comes the auto cure, and this is the Light Veil. So this is what I was thinking. I can't think of any spells, honestly, that Mia can channel other than that. Barrier Break Arrow, though, says, screw the elemental disadvantage. That fire attack resistance down from Rain ended up being massive, enough to one-shot them more. It is now a 2v3 in the Fire Force favor. Dispelling Thrust doing a good chunk to Rain, though, as he has absolutely bananas AoE resist, but unit attack resistances are the way to go against him. Here comes Ultra again. Is this another Quicken? Rain with 27 AP is going to go Life Circulator. So this is the Urel TMR, and I'm thinking he might even be able to... No, I don't know if he's running Bowtie. I don't think so. I think he had to take a weird path to get there. Kurata actually comes out instead of Quicken. The tank is still full health. What can Setia get done here? This is the Limit Break, Flight of the Firebird. If this is a good chunk, the fire team might actually be able to overcome this. 3764 and drops fire attack resistance, so that is two different attacks that drops that resist. So even with the elemental disadvantage, it kind of takes part of that away. But here comes Water Gut onto the entire team, lands the sleep onto Rain, the kill onto the Time Mage, who I cannot think of her name, Elshra, and Setia honestly tanked that quite well. I'm actually stunned by how well she tanked that. That's actually crazy to me. 32 AP. She's going to go Thermal Exposure on both. Somehow finds the massive diamond here. Self-heal onto Miranda, not doing a whole lot with the healing power down. 78 AP, and honestly, Dispelling Thrust, this is the best thing that Taiyo could ask for, because this now gets rid of the sleep on Rain. What can he get done? Flaming Impact onto both is going to land the kill onto Mia, proc the Courage, and looking at the turn order, guys, Setia should be able to finish this off. Is this seriously a victory from Fire Force against two water units? I would not have believed it if you told me, but that is a Game 1 win for Taiyo. Let's head into Game 2. Second game of this series, Taiyo on the left side, rocking the same team that they just brought. No water on the other team, except for Uni, but this is a double fire evasion squad, and I have to say, guys, I don't think Rain and Setia are the most accurate units in the game. How much accuracy do they have built up? Because if they don't have enough built up, this is going to be very, very tricky. Brumal Form Plus coming out from the Yuffie to nullify any sort of guaranteed hits, although I don't really think there are many on the other side here, as Life Circulator comes out just like last time. A little bit of positioning change, I think. Maybe Taiyo thinking that he didn't want Rain to be drawn out immediately like last time. However, the tank is going to have to move backwards to get this buff off. Not sure if this is what Taiyo wants in this situation. Elshra might be too far away, actually, to go for any sort of Time Mage stuff as well. So she's just going to walk forward and sit there. Padfoot coming out from Uni, going to get that hate down as well as the haste and move to the side. Indomitable Spirit coming out from Pissarro. And this JohnnyB team, I think, is looking very, very intimidating to the other side. Yuffie with that guaranteed hit nullification. Momentum, King Bradley TMR, she's hasted up with a just absolutely ludicrous amount of AP here. Setia, do you have the accuracy? This is going to be very telling for the fight. Oh god, guys, Stroke of Luck comes out, which is going to give some luck to the party, but she had a 0% hit chance on the Yuffie. Astral Guard comes out from Rain, and unless that luck is on Taiyo's side, maybe with the luck buff, then maybe she has like a 5% chance to hit, maybe can pull it off. Arrowfall comes out for 600 damage, though. I'm pretty sure this fight is over before it starts, guys. If they don't have a chance to hit, this game is literally just over. Elshra's going to walk forward, and she's doing a whole lot of nothing on the other side here. Fiery Banishment coming out from Yuffie, 6,600 damage is a good chunk onto the tank here. Pissarro should not be able to follow up any damage, but Fleet of Foot comes out, and this is the Katone TMR. So more hate down and movement, and it looks like the theory on the other side here is to try and make Yuffie tank up the team by getting hate down on the other units. Absolutely love this strategy by JohnnyB here. So Yuffie, what does she go for? Art of War is going to chain up very nicely with her most recent attack. She gets rid of the tank, and I'm pretty sure Taiyo is just unable to hit here. Uni going to walk forward. Nope. Walks to the side. Does a whole lot of nothing here. And here comes Pissarro, and I think Uni's actually running Bowtie. So this is actually another nice tech coming out from JohnnyB. Running the Bowtie to keep him back, but running the hate down buff to make sure that he doesn't have too much hate. Immobilize coming up from Elshra, so it says, hey, I can't hit you with damage, but I can keep you stuck there. Throw coming out from Yuffie is going to land a kill, but Setia is just out in no man's land. Finally goes for an attack. Apparently the luck buff is enough to make a non-zero chance of hitting, but it definitely misses. I'm pretty sure the odds are probably like 10% or less. Arrowfall comes out for 4,900 damage. A good chunk coming out from the 30 cost Uni here. Pissarro is just sitting back in the trees, as Ram 9 would say. He's not doing a whole lot. Yuffie going to go Brumal Form again because she can't quite reach the Setia, and this Immobilize is just going to stall out the fight in an outcome that I'm pretty sure we all can figure out what is about to happen. Setia, does she have the accuracy to hit Pissarro? No, she's going to go for Uni. The backline says, hey, I might not be able to hit you guys, but I'm going to try and claim a kill nonetheless. But Uni might be able to finish it off right here with 26 AP. Punishing Slow Arrow is going to do 7,500, which is absolutely ludicrous. And JohnnyB brings it back in strong fashion in Game 2. Final game of this series, guys, and it looks like a slight switch up coming up from Taiyo. Not using Setia, but using the bunny, Sylvie. Does Sylvie have what it takes to hit these evasion units, as JohnnyB might have tried to find a cheat code here, says, hey, you don't have a way to beat this evasion squad. We'll have to find out. The evasion skills buff comes out from Pissarro, Brumal Form Plus again from the Yuffie, and this team is raring and ready to go. Here comes Prayer of Resolute Oath from the Sylvie, getting some spirit up as well as those debuff resists for the party. So they might be tanky, but can they hit? This is the ultimate question. When you're facing the evasion teams and stuff like this, a lot of this literally just comes down to, can you connect? And here comes Elshra. Is this a Quicken? Yes, it is. So it looks like she has basically all other skills turned off other than heals. The Quicken goes on to Rain. He's going to go back onto the party with the Life Circulator. I will say this initial turn rotation from Ty was looking a little wonky, as Rain doesn't know where to go. He's just going to keep refreshing these buffs on the teammate. He needs to be walking forward here as the Pissarro TMR comes out from Uni. Very similar tech as last time, running Bowtie for the limited movement, but gets hate down regardless. I love this strategy. So this is the Courage buff coming out from JohnnyB's Pissarro. So he's going to have to die twice. Momentum comes out from Yuffie, so King Bradley TMR. And it looks like very quickly, 2 out of the 3 units are nice and hasted up on the other side. This should just be another Quicken coming out from Elshra. And Sylvie is going to go Prayer of Resolute Oath. So basically just the Turtle team coming out from Taiyo. They're sitting in the back. Maybe if they can draw Yuffie forward, if they can chain her down while she is all by herself, that might honestly be the best way to go about this. Astral Guard comes out from Rain. He's finally going to move forward. So he is in the most forward position on the team, which is good for Taiyo here. Uni has absolutely tremendous range, but still cannot connect even from there. And here comes Yuffie. She is going to jump up in the air. This is going to be Pierce Attack. How much damage is this going to do? Pissarro, I believe, yes, going to go Fleet of Foot just like last time. The Katone TMR, again, making Yuffie hate, basically making Yuffie be a tank by having hate down on the rest of the party. I will say that damage by Yuffie was quite a lot on the Sylvie. That is not what you want to see if you are the Fire Force. Arrowfall coming out. Was that 424? I think it was. Rain's AoE resist is absolutely ludicrous, so he tanks up those kind of hits like crazy. Here comes Yuffie again, though, with the haste. She's going to go again. Fiery Banishment does 8,300. Rain does survive, though, and now this is the moment. Can Sylvie hit? Does she have her Cure turned off, though? No, she's going to go for the Limit Break, so she's not going to attack. This still doesn't tell us whether she's able to hit or not, though, as my goodness, that healing power down from that Dragoon skill is massive. The heal does basically nothing to Rain. Only 970, I believe that was. Does give him a one-hit barrier, but I don't think that is going to matter. Can Pissarro reach? Yes, he can. Grease Lightning. Is this enough to take out Rain? And if it is, I think this fight is all but over. 33-24 is not quite enough. Yuffie should be able to take him out here, though. And can she find an AoE on the squad? No, she can't. She's going to go for the standard attack. I don't think the AoE was actually enough to kill Rain, so maybe that was why she did that. Maybe she was out of AP. I'm not entirely sure. Here comes Elshra, though. Does she have full life? I think she might in her kit. I know she has White Mage somewhere in her kit, so she might have a full life, but I think Sylvie's going to go for the same thing, if that's the case. No, it's actually a Quicken onto Sylvie, and this is actually so awkward. She's going to move, but like she's still channeling her full life, because the Quicken timings are so awkward when you're casting a spell. It's basically like you kind of only get a half a turn. Like she moved. Oh, it's not even a full life. Oh, wait, no, that was her counter. Okay, it is a full life. Rain's going to come back to life, but that is not even remotely close to a full life. They need to change that skill to barely life as Strike of Ruin comes out on the entire party. That is enough for a double kill. Sylvie is just barely alive, and we have still not seen yet if this team is able to hit the other evasion team. And we may never find out, guys, because that is a 3-0 victory here in game number 3 for JohnnyB and the Disposable Heroes, disposing of Fire Force in game 3. Honestly, though, a great series. Congratulations to JohnnyB, and well played by Taiyo. Two longtime Friday Night Fights players kicking it off against each other, guys, as we got Zhalk on the left side, running his reliable Sephiroth and Leela composition with Grace backing him up, as it looks like a double punch team coming out with Yrel, Edward Elric, and a Phoebe backing him up for Sandrooster and Unicorn Gunfight. Indomitable stance coming out from the Yrel, so she's got Courage Online, Veil of Woe for Sephiroth. Going to give himself a nice barrier as well, some AP restore. And what does Grace have? She's going to channel a spell. Does she even get this off in time before the rest of the party moves? She is not going to get this off, so I'm curious what this is going to be. As the King Bradley TMR comes out from Little Leela, Phoebe is channeling a spell as well. And Quicken comes out onto Edward. He might be able to reach some damage here. He's got quite a bit of range in his kit. Yes, he does. Wall Breaker onto both. Does so much damage to Sephiroth, actually. Almost 6k. He is not known for being very good against Strike. So maybe this is the team to bring for Sandrooster. What does Yrel have to chain up with it? Rend the Heavens is almost enough to take out Sephiroth already. Good lord, this is so much damage coming out from Unicorn Gunfight. Hell's Gate comes out 6k onto the Yrel and a little over 5k going on to Edward here. As it looks like a spell coming out from Phoebe. This should be a Quicken, I believe. Grace is going to try and heal up her party, but who goes first? No, it's not a Quicken, it's a Cura, which maybe means there's a chance for Zhalk. If this was a Quicken, I think it was already over. But maybe not here. How much healing is coming out from the Grace? Not enough, as that is only going into Leela. It's not going on to Sephiroth. And the Adamantine Pillar Transformation is enough to kill Sephiroth, which means unless a full life comes out from Grace, this is probably over. Yrel's going to go next. She's going to Limit Break. Fury of the Forest. This is the 1000 punch Limit Break. Looks so damn cool. 4,000 damage onto the Little Leela. Going to give herself some AP restore as well. Phoebe, what does she have in store? This should be a Quicken, I imagine. And it's interesting that she actually went for Yrel this time instead of Edward. Apparently she wouldn't have been able to reach him. I thought she would have been able to, but apparently not. Blessing of the Truth comes out for him though, getting a couple of resistances up, including the AoE resist. And is this a full life coming up from Grace? I imagine it is. Maybe it's a heal from that range, not sure. Silencing spell comes out though, and Phoebe's really not going to be able to do much of anything if she is silenced. Just the standard attack from Yrel, so not enough damage. And this is going to be very telling. No, it's a Curata. If that was a full life, I think this might be Zhalk's fight. But man, oh man, Knight's Blessing is a TP skill, which apparently means that Phoebe can still use it even though she is silenced. That feels pretty broken. Adamantine Pillar Transformation comes out. A good chunk of damage onto both units here, as it looks like Grace is going to drop, I believe. I believe she just got one shot by that 3-step Star Strike, I think that was called, from Yrel. Actually, don't play her a whole lot. I think that's what it was, though. And this 3v1 is not going to look good for Little Leela. Dark Up Blade comes out. Damage onto two different units here. Yrel probably not going to be able to finish it off with a Hammer Fist, but Edward says, hey, I got this. Nope, he doesn't say that. He has 8 AP. Yes, okay, he has enough movement. I take that back. He comes in, takes out the Little Leela, and man, oh man, it looks like Edward has taken out the trash. Game number 2 here, guys, and I flipped the graphic down at the bottom as it looks like they switch sides in the battle here. Just want to mention that Zhalk has yet to lose a series in the WDL yet. Sandrooster looking to try and be the first team to take him down. Can he do it? With this punch squad, it is still the Sephiroth, so the only switch up is now it is Helena Leonis instead of Grace. Is it Time Mage Helena, though, or is it White Mage Helena? Aurora of Blessings coming out, so light and dark attack resistance. Not entirely sure what they were expecting there. Maybe expecting a Jaden or something like that. But it looks like he did not come out, as it is now Gargus instead of Yrel. So not a full punch squad. And looks like some sort of summer TMR. I'm actually not sure whose that was, but it nullified some different statuses here. Little Leela going to go next with Silencing Spell, dropping that healing power. And Sephiroth with so much AP here. What does he go for? Telluric Fury is so much damage, almost gets rid of Edward, and it looks like opting for the bells rather than the Veil of Woe here, because I think that was more AP than Veil of Woe. I think that was his bells TMR. Actually didn't quite catch that, but Helen is going to drop immediately, so even if she was the adjustment, she did not last very long. But I will say, for Zhalk's side, Edward is kind of in the middle here, which prevents Gargus from finding AoE on both Leela and Sephiroth. But here comes a Quicken, and Gargus might be able to follow this up for a kill on the Leela. here it comes. I think this should be able to delete her. Yes, it can. Arrow, 5,200 damage, and now it is a 3v1. But if you had a single unit to try and win a 3v1, it would probably be Sephiroth. But my god, Wallbreaker does so much damage. 698 health in a dream for this Sephiroth. Can he pull off something crazy? Paralyzing Edge is enough to kill the Gargus. He does still have physical reflex on his side. If he can somehow reflex Edward, he has a chance. But here comes the full life out of Phoebe. It is now back to a 3v1. No reflex. Edward is going to punch him in the chest, and this is over. Zhalk is no longer undefeated. Sandrooster and the Unicorn Gunfight managed to pick up the 2-0 series victory. First game of this series, guys, we've got AllSmokedUp on the left with the Trap Queens and JAYBLACK on the other side with the Chronic Fatigue. JAYBLACK running a Lucia, Curry, and Lemure composition, so double missile along with the Time Mage. And I do apologize, just a slightly blurry video here, but I'm going to try and shoutcast as best I can. Deep Fortification coming out from the Astraeus, so that HP absorb buff as well as the AoE buff coming out, and Celis with the Runic Blade. So this is the trademark Astraeus Celis composition. We've seen these two very, very many times together, as Set the Pace comes out from Surge, as is the new Addison Ray TMR to try and dispel haste on the other side on crit. I expect to see this TMR more going forward. Here comes Curry Wazette, though. What is he going to go for? He's channeling a spell. Is this a Mega Charge? I don't know what else he would be channeling. This should be a Guard Hastaja coming out from Lemure, though. Only 1,800 damage from the Mega Charge is not a ton. I believe it did drop the unit resist on Celis, though. Sharpshoot comes out for 4,400, and that is doing quite a bit as this missile chain starts to continue. Hero's Conviction coming out. Attack and defense piercing. This is Sephiroth's TMR, something I don't see very often. I'm actually surprised to go for that instead of a Quicken, but very cool to see. Shadowbind does a little bit of chip to the Celis, but honestly, she's doing a decent job tanking up here, as Indomitability comes out from Astraeus. He's got his Courage online, and it looks like AllSmokedUp says, hey, dude, my recording stopped, but no worries. JAYBLACK is working as he goes through his notifications. He's going to swipe him to the side. Magic Burst comes out from Celis, though, doing a good chunk of damage onto two different units, and Curative Prayer comes out from Surge, as he is doing his best Yuna impression. Hero's Conviction comes out from Lemure, though, again, just refreshing this buff. I'm surprised. Instead of the Quickens, I wonder if this is what they want. Spiteful Blast comes out from Lucia, though. She is an absolute beast of a unit, only 70 costs in our format. The standard attack coming out from Curry, not enough to kill Astraeus. Can this team from AllSmokedUp finally close the gap? Lucia with the haste, it's just too much. Spiteful Blast comes out, and that would be a double kill if not for the Courage. And Lemure, what does she have here? I imagine just going to go for another Guard Hastaja, as it looks like the haste faded away. And this team from AllSmokedUp tanked hits well, but cannot close the gap. These missile units are just too fast. Frostmaw Barrage takes out the Astraeus, and a very nice showcase by JAYBLACK and Chronic Fatigue for this double missile team. Guard Hastaja, again, going back to Lucia. She's got 17 AP. She's going to go sharpshooting stance, missile attack up on the party, and it is just a matter of time before this fight is over. I imagine Lemure is going to go for a haste onto Curry. I think... Nope, actually going for Quicken this time. So my thought is maybe they didn't want the Sephiroth TMR. I'm not sure, but a very interesting thing coming out from JAYBLACK here, as the Quicken finally does go off. This is a Frostbitten Surges, and this poor guy just cannot close the gap. 2,500 damage coming out from Curry is enough to seal the Game 1 victory, and we are headed to Game 2. All right, guys, game number 2 here. AllSmokedUp on the left side with Trap Queens again, and JAYBLACK on the other side with Chronic Fatigue. A couple of switch-ups here, and it looks like JAYBLACK is running a Perrine, Snow, and Sosha angle. And on the other side for AllSmokedUp, it is Fina, Astraeus, and Cyrell. So very, very interesting as the Courage buff pops off onto Snow. This is, I feel like I'm playing like a 2D 8-bit arcade version of this game, but I love to see it. I think that was Set the Pace coming out from the Fina, and I believe this recording is like trying me, testing me to see how well I can cast without 100% knowing what's going on. Deep Fortification comes out from the Astraeus, so he's going to get that HP absorb and the AoE buff as well. Concentration from the Cyrell, going to get agility and also some defense piercing for her. And here comes Shadow Dance coming out from Perrine. Agility up, getting that barrier. A very nice tech as she's rocking about 11.6 thousand health, even more than the tank, who is going to have an HP recovery here as Snow pops that skill. Sosha is going to pop up in the air. I don't know if I said Surges earlier, but that is Sosha. Lands a silence onto Cyrell. The silence really isn't going to do a whole lot, but Vortex kick comes through, 9,600 damage, takes out Cyrell immediately. That is very, very effective strategy coming out from Perrine. This should be a full life from Fina though, so not so fast. It should still be a 3v3 as Indomitability comes out from Astrius and he is now ready to go. Spirit Breaker coming out from Snow, 4,100 damage. Also going to drop the attack a little bit. Here comes the full life, and looks like maybe some healing power down because that was not actually fully full life. But here comes Vortex, a kick again from Perrine. This is going to be a double kill. Astrius is barely hanging on. We've seen Astrius pull off some absolutely insane 1v3s though. Will we see it again? He would have to probably pull a limit break into another attack. I don't know, man. And the reflex onto Sosha, just to make matters worse, cross destruction onto the team, doing a little bit of damage to the Snow, but that is about all we're going to see. Spirit Breaker is going to proc the Courage. Perrine should be able to finish this off, and this should be a very convincing 2-0 series win for JAYBLACK and Chronic Fatigue. Thank you for watching that arcade-style version of the WOTF game here, guys. An awesome series to both players, though, all jokes aside. And GG's, congratulations to JAYBLACK. Game one of this series, guys, we've got Highwind on the left side with Tears for Spears versus the Arc Knights on the other side, coached by King Delita. And it looks like the standard double wind plus Miche combination. Highwind has been utilizing this to great success over the last few weeks, as we've got this very tanky June popping the Vacuum Bill with 15,000 HP rocking there as a double lightning combination coming out with the Summer Helena and Orlando, the Thunder God himself, rocking 10,000 health himself. Silverwolf's Grace comes out though. This is the opponent's TMR. This is Flagbearer Glassy with the Dragon's Bloodline coming out from Miche, just making sure there's no berserk shenanigans coming out from the other side, as Grace of Eternal Friendship, the Black Rose Helena TMR, comes out from the Murmur at the 40 cost unit. Azure Crimson Power though, interesting. This is the Reagan TMR, I believe. I'm not entirely sure the use on that, but this will be really, really interesting, as I believe Courage just came out from the Summer Helena. Stormwind Wren comes down, dropping the agility just a little bit. What does Orlando have for us? It's Crest of the Black Lion Plus, nullifying a bunch of status effects, giving himself some AP and some AoE resist. A very, very good tech as Shadowbind comes out from Miche. That is not something I expected to see. I wonder, is it just too much magic resist coming out from the other side that he went for the Ranger ability? Very, very interesting, unless he was trying to immobilize the other side. Maybe it was on purpose. I'm not entirely sure. But here comes Summer Helena, and this is the limit break. This is Mermaid Dance, and this is going to drop AoE resist on the other team, which can be very useful, as Flagbearer Glassy normally has quite a bit. And yeah, that does a massive chunk to both units. Orlando might be able to pick up a kill here. He's going to go with the limit break himself. Sword Play, Thunder God. I think this kills Joom, and it should give himself haste for the rest of the fight here, as he summons all these swords onto the other side. 3363. No, I take it back. Not quite enough to land the kill. That could end up being a big deal, as another Shadowbind coming out from Miche. Is this a specific tech to try and immobilize the other squad? Not entirely sure, as Murmur, will she go for an S-Una here to try and cure this now? Is Dispelling Spearflight's going to remove any sort of buff that she had, but the backline tank on her looks like probably a bow tie, as Hollow Bolt Extreme comes out, kills the tank. Flagbearer Glassy is barely hanging on here, and this looks very good for King Delita in game number one. No, it's a Stonega. It's going to find the double kill, and that is a very convincing victory coming out from King Delita and the Arc Knights in game one. Game two of this series, guys, and this is a good one. Couple of really, really strong teams, and it looks like King Delita is the team who's going to switch up his composition. Is this a bluff call by Highwind, or does he just feel most confident in this double win composition? Ildira's Theorem going to come out from King Delita, as he is rocking Reagan on the other side, who has that elemental advantage over the Wind team, although Murmur obviously has the disadvantage. As Leave This to Me comes out, that is going to be some wind resist on the entire comp. That could be very, very useful. sweet support coming out. This is the Little Leo the Bold TMR coming out from Murmur. So getting that agility up on the entire squad as the hate buff comes out from Joom, making sure to get some protect and shell as well. And this is a very similar turn rotation coming out from Highwind as last game. And I'm thinking just the position change was maybe what he's looking for to try and win this. And it looks like the resistivity buff coming up from Ildira as well. Protect on the other side. And there is a ton of damage mitigation chaining going on by King Delita's side here. I imagine they're going to tank this damage quite well. As the Azure Crimson power buff comes out again, I do wonder if this was maybe thinking that it was kind of similar to Hio's TMR to get ice resistance, because I think that just upgrades ice and fire attack. I think maybe that Highwind is thinking it's the opposite, kind of similar to Hio TMR, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe there is some other reason to run that TMR that I'm not certain of. Protecting the Light of Future comes out from the Reagan, so he's got courage, he's got a heal back, he's got so many things going for him right now, as another fast cast should be coming out from the Murmur. Glassy is out of buff. She's just going to walk to the side. Ildira is going to do something very similar and double hasted up units from this somewhat Reg Mage composition coming out from the Arknights. Stormwind Rend is just going to tickle Reagan. Does do a decent chunk to Murmur though. As the flare comes out from Mish, I expect this to do a lot more than the other attack did. 3289 is actually tanked quite well still, as Mountain Dive does a nice bit of chaining, heals himself up as well. It looks like he's maybe running a Blood Sword, as Triple Cross comes out from Glassy, going to remove the courage and start a Wind Chain, but it's not a ton of damage, as Waterga comes out from Ildira, going to drop the 30 cost Mish. Murmur's going to go next. Does she go for damage or go for a heal? The way she's walking forward makes me think it is damage. It is flare. This should do a decent chunk. I take that back. It is only 1726. Joom tanks it quite well. Stormwind Rend is a very good chunk, and Reagan is looking to collapse on this Azure Blade Strike, and honestly, Joom tanking this pretty well considering Reagan is a very good unit with elemental advantage. Triple Cross coming out from Glassy, and can this Wind team still overcome Reagan yet? It is very possible, but the Height 2 Kiriga is going to fend them off for a little bit as it heals 2 units back up to full. Azure Blade Strike is going to take care of Joom, and Glassy is a very strong unit, but can she overcome this 2v1? The heal back was already used on Reagan, I believe. Dispelling Spearflight going to find the backline, but it's not enough to one-shot the Ildira. She doesn't even go for a heal on herself. She goes for height-based water. I'm actually surprised about that, but Azure Blade Strike is enough to take out Glassy, and the switch up from King Delita looking very strong, and the Arknights with a 2-0 series win over Highwind and Tears for Spears. 4 weeks in the books for the Leonis division, and man, these standings are absolutely nuts. In first place, we have JAYBLACK of Chronic Fatigue with 10 points. Not far behind, though, we've got a 3-way tie for second in Sandrooster, Unicorn Gunfight with 9 points, King Delita of Arknights, and Zhalk of Boco Buddies. I will say, Sandrooster has a very impressive plus or minus with the best in the entire division, even better than JAYBLACK. He also has the head-to-head record over King Delita of the Arknights and Zhalk of Boco Buddies, so Sandrooster is in second place, even if you do see a 3-way tie there. Highwind in 5th with Tears for Spears with 7 points, along with MaechenX of the Shoometal Alchemists and Willy Goats of the Corpse Brigade. Highwind does have the overall tiebreaker as it stands right now, as he is the best plus or minus, and then MaechenX has the direct head-to-head victory over Willy Goats, so that is how they are currently in 6th and 7th. Obviously, a lot of that can shake up the more we go through more games. JohnnyB in 8th, getting his first series win this season, has to feel really good, getting 5 points overall with the Disposable heroes. AllSmokedUp with Trap Queens not far behind with 4 points, and Taiyo picking up another point this week leaves him with 2 points overall. Honestly, guys, the Leonis division might be my favorite overall in terms of games, how insanely exciting and competitive they have been, and the standings are insane. 4 weeks in and we don't have an undefeated team. That is what I love to see. I love to see competitive teams who are very close together. There's 3 points separating 7th place and 1st place. That is awesome. I love to see that. So thank you guys so much for watching these. I hope you guys enjoyed the games. We've got 3 more videos coming out for you this week. Make sure to check those out. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like and subscribe button down below, and leave me a comment down below in terms of who you think is going to end up in 1st place in this division at the end of the regular season. It'll be interesting to see. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.